So let's start. From the following particulars, calculate the present and future PV ratio. This question is based on PV ratio. Now, what they are asking us, they are saying sales were 10 lakh, variable cost 6 lakh, fixed cost 2 lakh. There is a proposal to reduce the selling price by 10%. As you can see from the question itself, it is quite clear that if selling price is reduced by 10%, what will be the PV ratio? And what will be the PV ratio when selling price is not reduced by 10%? So let's start. We know what is present sales. Present sales is it's 10 lakh. They all are in rupees. Rupees 10 lakh. Next, we all know what is when we have to find out contribution, we need to deduct sales variable cost from the given sales. We know that variable cost given in the question itself is 6 lakh. Now next is contribution. Contribution is 10 lakh minus 6 lakh will give you 4 lakh. So sales minus variable cost gives you a contribution of 4 lakh. And why we are calculating contribution? We are calculating contribution in order to calculate PV ratio. PV ratio, we all know it is contribution upon sales. Contribution upon sales multiplied by 100. Contribution we have calculated, it is 4 lakh divided by sales, we know it's 10 lakh. And multiplied by 100. So contribution will come out to be 40%. So this is your present contribution. And future contribution will be the contribution, sorry, this is your present PV ratio. And future PV ratio is when sales is reduced by 10%. We know present sales is rupees 10 lakh. Then we will deduct 10% from this. 10% reduction in selling price. 10% reduction in selling price. Let's we reduce its format. We improve its format now, and it's 1 lakh. 1 lakh. This is your, let's give it a name of future sales so that identifications of value becomes easy for us when we are calculating future PV ratio. Now, when new sales, definitely there will be next new contribution. So we will take out new contribution which is based on sales of rupees 9 lakh. Variable cost, there is no information regarding reduction in variable cost. So we will take as it is the value of variable cost which is 6 lakh. And now it's our future contribution. Future contribution. Future contribution is 9 lakh minus 6 lakhs will give you 3 lakh. So we will calculate the future PV ratio with the help of future sales and future contribution. Future PV ratio is future sales 9 lakh, 9 lakh divided by 3 lakh into 100. So this will give you 33.33. So this is how we have calculated the future PV ratio. Let me revise it. First, we have calculate the present PV ratio with the help of sales without any adjustment. Sales is rupees 10 lakh. Variable cost is 6 lakh. We will get the contribution. Sales minus variable cost gives you the contribution, which is 4 lakh. PV ratio will be contribution divided by 10 lakh. Sales will give you present PV ratio 40%. Now what is present sales is 10 lakh. It is said that there is a proposal to reduce the selling price by 10%. Now if we will reduce this sales by 10%, we will get new future sales which is 9 lakh. New sales, definitely there is a, if there are new sales being worked out, so definitely there is a requirement that we should go for calculation of a new contribution. So sales minus contribution will give you future contribution 3 lakh. There is no adjustment is given regarding variable cost, so we will copy as it is 6 lakh and there will be new contribution 3 lakh. Future PV ratio, future sales divided by future contribution into 100 will give you PV ratio of 33.33%. Now we discussed today that what actually PV ratio is and how we calculate the PV ratio. Next, moving on further, let us solve some numericals which covers the break-even point aspects also. The following information relates to The following information relates to the product of a company. Selling price per unit rupees 30, variable overheads manufacturing plus selling 17 plus 320, and fixed overhead factory plus selling will give 1,40,000 and 30. So you have to calculate break-even point in amount and in unit sales to earn a profit of rupees 60,000 in value and units. We need to do certain rectifications over here. It's not 1,40,000, it's 1,50,000. Now let's start with the solution. First of all, without thinking anything, we need to calculate the variable cost. Sorry, contribution. We know that selling price is 30 per unit. This cost is 30 per unit. And we know variable cost is we will deduct variable cost from this particular sales, obviously. Then we will get this value over here. 17 Madan, this is contribution. Naturally, it is sales minus variable cost will give you contribution of rupees 10. Sorry, 30 minus 20. You will get a contribution, and we are getting this contribution in per unit basis. Next is we need to see the fixed cost. Fixed cost is, we know, factory and selling. Fixed cost is given in terms of factory and selling, then the total cost will be 1,80,000. Now, why we are calculating this fixed cost? Because fixed cost is useful when we are calculating break-even point. Break-even point is calculated with two perspectives. One is break-even point in units, and another one is break-even point in amount. First of all, we will calculate break-even point in units. It will be fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. Fixed cost, we all know it's rupees 1,80,000, 1,80,000 divided by contribution. We know it's 10. So break-even point in units will come out to be 18,000 units. Next is B, break-even point in amounts. Break-even point in amounts. Break-even point is amounts is simply nothing. We will just multiply this fixed contribution per unit with selling price per unit. Now we know fixed cost upon contribution is 18,000 units. Let's work it out once again. 1,80,000 divided by contribution per unit, we know 10, multiplied by selling price per unit, it's given 30. So it will be rupees 5,40,000. So break-even point in units is 18,000 units and break-even point in amount is 5,40,000. Another thing which we have to calculate is sales to earn a profit of rupees 60,000 in units and in amount. So the formula, when we need certain required sales to earn a desired level of profit, formula is fixed cost plus desired profit upon contribution per unit multiplied by 100. So it will give you, now we will input the values in the given formula, which is 1,80,000 plus 60,000 divided by contribution per unit. Contribution per unit is rupees 10 into 100. We all know, sorry, it's not 100. Let me rectify, it's not 100. It's into selling price. Selling price per unit is 30. So this figure required sales we are getting in rupees, that is 7,20,000. Next is required sales to earn a desired level of profit in units. So only change what we will have over here in the formula is we will not use selling price. We will remove selling price from the formula and we will get the required sales in units. This is in amount. So fixed cost plus desired profit, it will be 1,80,000. 1,80,000. Simple, in order to save time, just I will copy this formula and remove multiplication. Sorry, it will not be done over here. It will be like this. Just remove multiplication sign from here and we will get the desired values in the formula, which is 24,000 units. Now next is profit or loss if sales are rupees 15,000. Profit or loss if sales are rupees 15,000. Now, what they are saying, if sales are increased to 15,000 units, what will be the profit or loss? Sales, we know selling price is rupees 30 per unit. So we will multiply 15,000 multiplied by 30 will give you 4,50,000. Next is less variable cost. Variable cost is we will again calculate variable cost for 15,000 units as we are given the variable cost per unit. So it will be rupees 3 lakh. Next is contribution. Contribution is sales minus variable cost, which will give you 1,50,000. Next, less fixed cost. Fixed cost is, we have been given 1,80,000 as it is fixed cost. It will remain same irrespective of number of units. So you will get, definitely there is a loss because of value of fixed cost is higher and value of contribution is lower. So you are suffering, the company is suffering actually the loss of 30,000. So this is your loss. So before winding up this particular numerical, let me explain you once again, brief you of what we have done. We have been given the following information and we need to calculate BEP in amount and in units. How we will calculate it? Sales we have to calculate, and we have to calculate profit of loss if sales are rupees 15,000. Selling price per unit is given 30. Manufacturing and selling are also given per unit cost 17 plus 30 10. Contribution per unit will come out to be 10. 30 minus 20 will give you 10. Fixed cost is given, factory is fixed cost, selling fixed cost 1,50,000 plus 30,000 will give you rupees 1,80,000. Now for calculating break-even point in units, we have formula fixed cost upon contribution per unit. Fixed cost is 1,80,000, contribution per unit is rupees 10, so we will get 18,000 units. Similarly, if you want this answer in amount, simply you will put on additional selling price per unit in multiplication format to get the break-even point in amount. So fixed cost upon contribution per unit into selling price per unit will give you rupees 5,40,000. Next is sales to earn a profit of rupees 60,000 in value and in units. Required sales to earn a desired level profit in amount. Fixed cost plus desired profit upon contribution per unit into selling price. Fixed cost, we know what is fixed cost. We know desired profit upon contribution per unit into selling price. It will give you rupees 7,20,000. Now, similarly, if you want this amount in units, you will remove selling price from the formula and take a simple formula fixed cost plus desired profit upon contribution per unit. So you will get the answer in 24,000 units. Now what they are saying, if the company sales are increased to 15,000 units, what will be the stage of a company? Will it earn profit or will it earn loss? So similarly, what you will do, sales is given 15,000 units and sales price per unit is rupees 30. We will multiply and get the sales for sales for 15,000 units, that is rupees 4,50,000. We will deduct variable cost. We will work out variable cost on the basis of 15,000 units. 15,000 into variable cost per unit will give you variable cost for 15,000 units, that is 3 lakh. Contribution is 1,50,000 less fixed cost and 1,80,000 loss is 30,000. So the company will earn loss if sales are 15,000 units. This is how you work out when you are given certain kind of questions related to profit or loss. You will follow the statement sales minus variable cost will give you contribution, and then you will deduct fixed cost from it. Then you, if this figure fixed cost figure is less and contribution is more, you will earn profit. But if this figure is fixed cost figure is more and contribution is less, definitely you will earn loss in this question. So according to marginal costing statement, you are earning, the company is earning losses. Thank you.